I think I had too much open up on my PC. It gave me a second to kind of get organized, but we're still got a bunch of stuff to do. So welcome to I guess it's episode number 2 of CAFO. So this will be kind of cut because there was an earlier little stream that crashed, but it was running. It looks like this one hopefully is okay. So I got the piece minted, which I'm excited about. What I have to do is I just got to post this in a few places, and including my Discord, and send it out to like airdrop it to my collectors that purchased the pass. So I'm just going to do that on the stream just because there, I really have to do. I just have to. Oh, did we get another one? Oh no, that's the. Okay, we just got a mint for the first one, which is awesome. I'm not sure who minted that yet, but appreciate to the first mint, and I'm going to do the airdrops now in a second. So let me see if I can get data from this thing. Token overview. Okay. So yeah, I'm just trying to get get the first one out. So just give me a second. Token is there. Okay, I think that's good. 16. OpenSea. Cool. Okay, so let me gotta just do some airdropping. I wonder, mint, lots of reasons. Okay, so there's one. So just gonna drop in some wallet addresses. I'm sorry that I can't stream this. It's just because I'm on my Mac. But again, I won't be doing this on future streams. We just got a little behind. Okay, so airdrop. Bang, 1, add address. Okay, number 2. Okay. All right, so second one is this one. Third is this one. 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 I'm going to have to get a better list together. Okay. I think we're good on the list. Okay. Number 1. 2. This is number 3. Okay, so I'm just dropping them. So I just dropped to Curtis. Shout out Curtis. And then I just dropped to Snoop Dogg. And then now I'm going to drop into Bat Soup. Let's go Bat Soup. And then we're going to, I can't remember this one. I think this is John Doe. I gotta remember who's who at address. Okay, meme. There we go. This is Reggie. Copy. Oh, okay. Add address. Yep. Reggie. Okay, NorCal is getting 2. 2 for NorCal. Kryptonish. Add address. This one is, I don't remember who this one is. I gotta get these memorized. Just the addresses don't match the this one's Emily. Go. North of 80. This should be Evie. This is, I can't remember who this one is now. Oh, this is Curtis's friend. I can't remember now. We just talked on Twitter. I'll find it and I'll give you a shout out. Sorry about you, Mint. Is the account, and then Ready Pair One, which I haven't thanked. Thank you, Ready Pair One. I haven't chance to. I thanked you on Twitter, but I didn't get a chance to do like a public tweet. So I appreciate you minting. So I'm gonna send you that one, and then I guess I don't know if you can use ETH addresses, and then. There's, oh man, now I got one messed up here. Oops. $8.89. 9B9. Okay, so I'm sending out 17, which seems wrong because I don't think that there's 17 tokens. So I must have doubled up one. App.manifold. Okay, so let's double check this. This must be just exciting for everybody, but okay, no, there's only 16 minted. So let's just double check these again. So, oh, lots of reasons is I already did. Okay. Okay, I got everyone, I think. I'll have to send out a note. Okay, I think I got that. 16 tokens airdropped, which is 16 passes. I'm gonna get an airdrop one to my own vault too. So let me get that one. There we go. 17. Okay. Let's try this. I wonder what this is going to cost. $40. There you go. 1 mint to airdrop these ones. It's a bad part. Okay. Let's see if hopefully this works. Okay. All right. So that's going to, I got to do 1 second. got to give myself a full hour before the stream. So 11 o'clock it's going to be to do all of like the art's got to be done. Everything's got to be ready. There's no doubt. Yeah, it didn't work. Confirm in your wallet. Confirm. Review. Sign. Okay. So yeah, so non-crypto people, if you're watching, I mean, so this is kind of the Web3 stuff. So airdropping tokens means I'm dropping them, basically giving them free, not free, but I'm dropping them for free for this claim to all the people that bought the pass because I already paid for them in advance with the pass. So that should, I think, updates the mint page as well. So let me go check that out real quick. Yeah, so there we go. So the mints now are in. And then everything is updated. So we're rocking. We're rocking. All right, so let me just got to send out some notes. Okay, so I'm going to send a quick message. Copy link. So let's go. Now I need to get, I'm going to create a Twitter group because there's no other way. Ready Pair One. Okay, who else is in this group? NorCal, Bats, Kinshiro, John Harden, John Doe, John Doe, John Chardon, Kenshiro, Bats, NorCal, Crip, Nash. Who else? Ready. Got Ready in there. Mint. Evie. Kryptonish. Emily. Who is this one? Twitter. Raquel, Reggie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Snoop Dogg. Curtis. Okay, so now we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. Missing one. Who am I missing? Sorry, guys. I promise we're going to make something in a second. Okay, who am I missing? Ready. SBY. I got SBY. I got Ready. I got North. I got Evie. Did I get Evie? Yeah, North, Evie. Kenshiro. Sunday, yeah. Gotcha. Okay, I think I got it. Okay, I think we're good. So yeah, I just got all my collectors into a group. I've got the tweet out. I think I've got the mint page ready. Yeah, I think we're good to go. Let's see. I'm going to drop one more note in here. Mints available. Okay. Okay, I think we're good. I'm excited. Um, we got to correct yesterday's wrongs. Yeah, so let me go. Let me just kind of let me break down quickly, and then we're gonna get right into this. So I think I can close this up, and yeah. So basically, what happened is that basically what happened is that we did the metahuman. So I was explaining this on the previous stream that got cut off. Basically, we did the metahuman. We brought in the 3D model. We rigged it all up to metahuman. We got the animation working. Everything was looking great. The lighting was set up like we were on fire. And then what I was trying to do, which was a good lesson and a mistake, was that I had this like floating head that was, great tracking, really good audio. Everything was good. And what I stupidly did, made two mistakes. One is I recorded my voiceover in three parts, like three files. And the way that Unreal Engine processes them is separately instead of like I couldn't merge them together. So if I had merged them together, I could have exported it as like one acting, it's kind of like an acting scene, and I could have had the whole thing together and it would have worked. But because they were three, I had to go and like try to merge them together, which started to cause issues. And then when I went and tried to bring the head onto a full body, it ended up messing up the animation and the head movement stopped. So if you actually look closely at and I'm kind of inside baseball here, but if you actually look closely at the mint, my head stays still and my mouth is moving and everything's good here, but we lost like all that kind of like if I'm talking the camera, my head's bobbing, moving, it feels natural. We lost all that. So I was looking at it and I was like, okay, like trying to fix it. I ended up like not getting it done last night, tried to fix it this morning, then realized that the render was going to take too long, even if I fixed it. So I got a good version of the render, but not a full version, which was I wanted to do is something called path tracing, which is like ultra realistic, ultra crazy. But I didn't get a chance to do it because I didn't have enough time. It was going to take 6 hours to render and we couldn't do it. So, the good news is the good and the bad news is like I wanted to come out the gate with like this really ultra realistic, motion capped animation of me talking to the camera. What we got was something that was not as quality as I wanted it to be, but it actually made me, make a tough decision this morning of like, this is not going to be what I want. Exactly. Let's pivot. We're going to make it as good as we can. And then I started thinking, well, how do we, shush, don't tell anyone, cover up a little bit of the lack of detail that I was seeing in the actual animation. So what I did was I grabbed an 80s style television video and I composited in the actual, the actual video of me talking into the background of the TV, added a bunch of overlays to it to make it kind of look, a little bit more, vintage. And then I threw some audio compression on it. So it looked like sound like it was coming through the TV, added some music, little camera movement, and it ends up being really cool. I'm actually very happy with it. And I think ultimately, it actually leads off with a much better, I think, message than what I was originally going to do, which would have been more high quality, a little bit more of me, it would be like this, like literally me talking to the camera with the full thing. It's going to be cool. What it does though is it means we can revisit that. So now that I have the animation data, I know how it all works, everything I kind of understand. In a future project, we will rig an ultra high resolution metahuman. It's going to be awesome. Plus, I think I mentioned in the video that there was some hieroglyphic stuff that I was going to put in the background. I didn't do that. So I'm going to save that for the next message, maybe even a little bit part of the one that I'm doing right now, which is just an idea popped into my head. And now I got to make a pivot of which way to go. Okay, interesting. Sorry, my mind just went. Also, George Williams, which is an artist that did my profile pic, I use on Twitter, not anymore, but I've been use my face, but I've been typically using this like painting style like 3D bust thing that he made, which is awesome. He just sent me the files late last night. So the cool thing is now I can make something with that, and it just opens up probably 2 more ideas related to that. So I think things are working the way I wanted, which is like you kind of get to go and start to tell the story, start to explain, what you're working on, and then bang, these ideas come up and things start to kind of come together. So that's the good news. I think I'm happy with the result. The bad news is that I pushed it too late, and today was a little bit of a like deadline drag, and now we're an hour behind. So we got to get into it. So okay, let's get into today. So today, we're unfortunately starting from a little bit more scratch than I was ready for. I really wanted to have some of the assets for this thing ready, but we're going to do this together. So let's start with PureRef. And the idea today that I want to work on is for a Beeple contest. So let's go full screen. And you're going to get kind of a little insight into this. So Beeple is running a contest to have art displayed at his gallery in I think he's in Charleston, somewhere in Carolina. Okay, so I'm going to look at this and I'm going to go find the actual application so you guys can see it. And then we're going to go in. There's a shout out to people doing. Okay, so here it is. So this is submission to Winter Wonderland. Deadline is the 5th, which means if I, put this in today, by tomorrow to be ready, we'll have 2 days. We'll mint it, and I think we're going to be in good shape. So I want to do this one today because it actually really fits the story that I'm kind of trying to tell. So the theme is Crypto Winter Wonderland, which is the name of this theme, this stream. And I've been really thinking about one idea, and now I have a second idea that I might just put on the side in case that I can't get this exactly the way I want it. Okay. So the idea is I want to do a 3D landscape scene of an isolated rocket launch facility, space shuttle or spaceship, space rocket. We call that. It's a rocket launch facility. It's not military, it's space. For Russia, which might be controversial, but follow me. Isolated into the middle of a winter landscape with some kind of crypto actual render. So the Russian space program is pretty historic and iconic, and that's what we're going back to. And in Russia, there is a launch facility. It's actually in Kazakhstan. It was in the former Soviet Union. Launch space facility. And I'll show it to you now. We're going to kind of get a bunch of stuff. So it's called the Baikonur. I don't know if I would say that right. Do we have actual pronunciation in here? I wonder if we could get the pronunciation. Here we go. I don't know if this is working.
Baikonur, Kazakhstan.
Bakanur? Do we trust this?
Stan. Baikonur, Kazakhstan.
Bakanur. I should get someone to verify for that. Bakanur. So the Bakanur Cosmodrome, which was this Russian launch facility. It's in Kazakhstan, and it's in a location that is not like what I'm kind of interpreting here for this piece. But what I was thinking is this is a cool way to kind of take the Cosmodrome, see what we can find in terms of like what that facility looks like. Maybe we'll make something that's not exactly it, but is inspired by it. And I want to place it in a like a rush, like kind of like a winter valley. And I have a kind of picture of this in my head, how I want this to work. So I'm going to go grab two things. I'm going to grab some reference photos for this first. And then I'm going to start to use Midjourney and Dolly and some AI stuff here to really generate like what I'm going to consider to be, concept art for what the final render would be. And then we're going to go grab some actual terrain data, hopefully, from Kazakhstan for this facility, as well as for a mountain range, this is the one that I'm looking at. Largest mountains in Kazakhstan. This is the Khan Tangri, I think it is. And let's go pronounce. Get these things right. Is it Khan?
Contangri.
Contangri. So Contangri and the Bakanur Cosmodrome. That's what we're going to be working on today. So let's do a little bit of, and I got to remember, I have a stand-up desk, which I got for this because I'm going to be sitting this whole time. So I have to remind myself to actually like stand up for a while during this stream. Okay. So this mountain range, so what we're going to do is we're going to open up PureRef, and I'll flip over, I'll try to remember because this is kind of a magenta screen to make this transparent. But we're going to start grabbing reference images of this to drop in. Actually, maybe we'll do is let's just go settings, colors, and we'll go back to dark mode, and I'll just go full screen. So you guys can just kind of, we'll flip between this thing as we go. So PureRef is essentially for grabbing reference images. Oh, interesting. So there is actual data in OpenStreetMaps, which is wicked. So I think we should be able to get this. This is what I actually really want. I want to grab, okay, so we're going to do, here, we're going to go a couple stuff. So let me get this thing open. Cool. So actually there's some stuff, we've got some stuff in here already. So you guys can actually follow. Yesterday I was a little bit more cryptic about this thing, but I think we can follow along on this one because I don't really have anything written in here. So our steps are going to be here. Number one, well, let's go to do. So we're going to collect reference images of the Cosmodome. Okay. Collect reference images of, and I think like I might change my mind on this, but I'm looking at this mountain range because it really is kind of what I'm picturing for the Winter Wonderland. And it's also in Kazakhstan, so it kind of all fits together. And then we're just going to get a bunch of references, collect reference images, generate concept art based on images. And then we're going to import OSM data of the Cosmodrome. So what that is, basically, we're going to go get the actual floor, we're going to get the site map essentially. So we're going to get all of these facilities. we should be able to get building footprints, which means we won't like have what they actually look like, but we'll have the actual location. So we'll be able to like bring these into the render, and then we can decide what to put on them and just the building look and all that. But it'll feel be based on reality, which is what I like, right? Like this is kind of an icon. Like where else are we going to do a rocket launch in the winter? It's Russia, right? That's why we're doing this one. And again, I won't go into too much like of the symbolism of what I'm doing, but crypto winter wonderland, rocket launch. There's a space theme to what I've been working. It'll all come together. You guys will get it. Okay, so we need to get that, and then we need to get terrain data. Okay, so then we need to identify a Russian / Kazakhstan if I get Russia, Kazakhstan, mountain range valley, get terrain data, range, import combine in QGIS. So what we'll do is we'll get terrain data, right? So we have, okay, here's the location. We'll go get the OSM building data. We'll kind of put it like together. Well, we won't do this in QGIS because we'll see. But basically we're bringing it all in. We'll get some satellite imagery and some terrain data. And then we're going to try to drop the building data in the middle of the valley. So you can imagine, it'll be a mountain range with a valley. We'll drop that in the middle. And then we're going to bring this import into Gaia, which is a procedural terrain generator. And what we can do is we can bring in the height map. So we'll have like a general, this is the area. So the mountains will be exact height. It'll be realistic, but it won't have a lot of detail because it's going to be hard to find like high resolution terrain data from Russia or Kazakhstan. It's just, it's north. It's harder to get. And it's, Russian. So it's just going to be hard to get that data. Although I had reached out a couple Russian speakers that told me they could help. One said it would help me, and the other one said like, don't download data from Russia. I'm like, it's just a rocket launch facility. Like, what are people worried about, right? Like, what would be an issue with like getting rocket launch data? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, so yeah, and then we're importing to Gaia. And add detail, generate terrain model height map. Okay. So we have to generate the terrain model and masks in Gaia. So what we do is add masks and color map. So once we do it in Gaia, you guys will get it. But basically, we're going to grab, we're going to bring it into Gaia as this like low resolution terrain, add a bunch of detail. We're going to add like flow and erosion and like rocks crumbling and just a bunch of stuff. We're going to simulate where there would be snow. We're going to simulate where there would be, like landslide areas, like flat areas, like where there'd be trees. We're going to simulate all that. And that's the procedural part in Gaia. And then we're going to export a bunch of masks and color map, and we're going to bring it all into Blender. And then we're going to take the scene, we're going to drop in the Cosmodrome. We're going to then decide where to put, like we might kit bash, so we might get some assets that we can bring in to kind of make the launch facility. And then the actual, rocket that's going to launch, I don't know yet. We're going to either try to find a 3D model, or I might just have to model it. And we're going to put that obviously in the middle. And then we're going to create the environment. So we're going to put like some sky. So we'll say import terrain data into Blender. Combine, merge. So we'll merge OSM data from Cosmodrome. And then we're going to set up winter environment. So we're going to set up like I'm picturing like kind of a blue hour grayish blue sky, some stars coming through, maybe cloudless, I think. It's kind of winter typical. And then we're going to bring in like some snow effects. Basically, we're trying to make it look as snowy as possible. So we got to figure out, I think we might have to do that composite after. We'll see. And then, sky, fog, etc., whatever we want. And then we're going to do is we're going to create a geometry node crypto moon. So basically that's going to be the tie-in. And then we might get ideas as we go. But basically there's going to be overhanging like an oversized moon, but it's going to look kind of pretty normal at the start, but it's actually going to be made up of like a bunch of Ethereum and crypto Bitcoin stuff. You'll see. It's going to be one of those things you won't notice until you look close, but we're going to bring that in. So this is ambitious, just looking at it, but it is all things I've done before, so I think it's a little different than yesterday. Now, if this runs into issues, the backup plan is the that seed facility in, where is that? Seed storage facility, which I also kind of like this one. This thing. Now, okay, I'm going to think on this for a second. So here's you get to see my brain work live. Okay. So the story that I was telling led from my original message, which, if you go and look at that mint, it sets up the whole story we're going to tell. The next step was going to be the kind of getting off Earth part. But from a story standpoint, it does actually make sense to do a storage, kind of deal. Like this is an apocalypse vault, right? And it has seeds and everything. So this kind of makes a little more sense in the story because it's sort of like foreshadowing what you would want to save before you leave. It's also a infinitely easier project, and I'm behind and I was stressed yesterday. So I'm going to do is I'm going to take 10 minutes. Okay. So I'm going to leave. The stream's going to go to the break. Okay. And I'm going to take 10 minutes and I'm going to just go for like a walk and I'm going to really think about this, because if I do this one here, I think I can get this done quick, which means we're going to be in a much better position, catching up. And I still technically tomorrow could do the Russian one, which just means that we'll have 2 potential entries for the Beeple contest, and we'll have a little bit more breathing room to get back on our feet. So I'm kind of leaning towards this, but I do want to think about it because I do think that it would be a much easier. And I've always wanted to do this, like to model this thing and scan. There's 3D scans out there. I can definitely get the location data. It's a much more simple landscape. It also, I think, would set up really well for a like a winter, wide angle scene. Like I'm kind of picturing the composition already of like over here, it's all kind of desolate and empty. And then in the middle or on the left side framed is this facility. Yeah. Okay. So, I think that's what we're going to do. I'm going to take a 10-minute break, take the dog out, set my desk up for standing so that I'm not sitting for this whole time. And we'll come back and I'll make a call and then we'll start working on this. Okay. See you guys in a bit. Okay, we're back. Oh, the Sony cameras decided to not work anymore. Let's see if I can get this back and running. Come on, Sony. It's like now it's literally asking me what Windows should do with the Sony. I don't understand. It's worked every time before. Maybe, come on. Nothing. Fuck. All right. Well, let's try and unplug it and plug it back in. I don't understand. PC connected. It's like worked. This thing worked for a month straight. Month straight, no issues with this thing. Now, in the middle of the day, it's not working. I don't really know what to do, to be honest. I do not know what to do. USB reset. That's what this says it's supposed to do. Nothing. What do you do? What do you do? Honestly, I'm not sure what to do with this situation. I do not know. Might have to go no video for a bit. I don't know what else, honestly, to do. They're just like the Sony is on. It's running. I can see myself. It's worked every single time up until this point, and now it's just like suddenly we have no signal. PC mode is on. It's like everything is there. I don't know what else I could check here. How could I check? System information, maybe. Hardware resources. First hardware. I don't know. I mean, I have a backup webcam we could use, but it's going to be annoying. I guess that's where we're going to go. See if I can get this up and running. It's gonna be a different angle, but whatever. Okay, let's try this one. There we go. We're going to go with this, I guess. I don't know why it's so... Oh, man. This is a nice fire, right? Okay. All right. Well, we'll go with this camera for now. It's a weird... I don't know what's going on with the Sony. So we'll go here. Okay, so I kind of made a decision, but I'm going to do a little bit of quick research. So I think I want to go with the Vault for a bunch of reasons. Just I think that it's going to be easier for me to do, and it's going to make a little bit more sense in terms of the story. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of research. So we're going to switch up what we were talking about before with the Cosmodrome, but that's going to be tomorrow. So we'll work on that one tomorrow. So I'm just going to go into my notes and just create a new project, and then we're going to just we're going to start working on this one. So okay. So, the only thing would be a little different is if I sort of discover in this process that there's something about this that just would make this really difficult. I might pivot it, but at this point, I think the plan is, I think the plan would be for us to do this one. So let's keep this off the screen. So I'm going to do a bit of research. We'll get the references going, and we'll see. So let's just start with getting some references of this actual thing into PureRef. So I'll sort of just bring this down, and then I'll bring it up here so you guys can see it. And then, so this is the Doomsday Vault. Okay, so let's go look at this vault in particular. So it's the Svalbard Global Seed Vault. Okay, so it's Norwegian, secure backup facility. It's on an island. It's basically seeds. This is a good meme, actually. Got all the seed phrases of the world. I have an idea. I have an interesting idea. It'd be cool to do like a seed phrase in this vault, like maybe written, and then it like load it with the Mint Pass and do it as like a giveaway. Be pretty cool. Okay. Don't really in the history. Don't need to know yet. It's 130 meters inside, sandstone mountain. No permanent staff. Okay. I like it. I like it. Ooh, I like the night version of it. Okay, so let's do some things. So we got to get the coordinates of it, which is that. Elevation, which is this. I'm just copy and pasting this into a note. So it has an official website. So let's go take a peek at that. Ooh, I like this. Oh, I like this a lot. Okay, so let's just try to get some pictures of this thing. I love this thing. That's what I think is really interesting. I'm looking for some kind of wide angle shots. This is cool. I like this. I like this as well. Oh, this is that's their main image. I like that one. So definitely aesthetically is going to be really cool, and this will be interesting. I think this could be a pretty fun terrain to make. We'll get this water, we'll get this terrain here, we'll get some snow, we'll build up this thing, and then we'll drop this building in, which should be pretty easy to model. I'm sure there's... Oh, this is cool. I think it'd be interesting, just thinking out loud. Again, concept-wise, I got to be careful, but what would be really interesting would be like to do an angle like this, and then, so kind of like the opposite of this one, right? So, you know, we could do like this style angle where the vault's coming out, and then we sort of transparent this and do like an underground, and in it we just have like a bunch of NFTs. You know, we just have like a bunch of or seed phrases or something like that. So I like this kind of coming together as an idea. Also like the potential Northern Lights stuff. This is super cool. Love the top of that thing. Okay, let's go take a peek at it on a map. It's temporarily closed, guys. Is this the is this it? Why can't I rotate? Oh, I see. So the facility is going to be... So there's an airport. This is what came up on the map. Is that the facility? That must be the facility there. And then this just must be all extra, because this is what came up when we put that in. Yeah, this is extra ammo. Does it say ammo? Anno. Okay. Interesting. Tourist attraction. So let's go look at OSM. Okay. So we're just going to check. Okay, so there it is. So interesting. Okay. There's a couple things here. This is way north. That's the other thing. It's hard to get terrain data from these places. This is our launch facility in Russia. It's much lower though. That's pretty cool. They have all the launch pads. I think I would want to do that one a little bit more justice. Trying to get it accurate. Okay. Okay, so the facility is here. Okay, so that's okay. So there's the actual vault for sure. Okay, so it's right there. That makes sense. All right. We've got a really nice landscape around this thing. Okay, so I'm gonna let's see what Google Earth has got on this thing, because that'll help us know whether we have some terrain tiles that we can download. New look, awesome. So they don't have much for. There's not really any building data here, so we'll have to do that. But in terms of the terrain, yeah, it's not bad. It's decent. Okay, so and this is the shot, I think. It's like that, right? So we'll get like the edge we can cut and go kind of maybe wide angle like here. Yeah, I feel like this would be it. Okay, so let's grab a screenshot of this. It's kind of our setup. And then we're going to grab a bunch of links. So this is a good link. OSM. Let's just get the exact. So this is this data. Okay. Okay, so I might have to do some setup here because when I reinstalled my PC, I lost a bunch of stuff I had set up. So I don't know if I've got the Blender OSM stuff in here. So give me a second. Add-ons. Okay, so it is here. It's going to drop this over here. So I do have keys. Okay, so that's interesting. So I have it. I just don't see it. Okay, here it is. All right. So I do have this. So let's go see what we can get from this facility first of all. It's not what I was trying to do. It's New York. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to select a location, open up, sure, Firefox is fine. So what this is going to allow us to go to this specific spot. I don't know if the search will work in here. Okay, it does. So nice. So what we can do is we're going to grab, we don't need everything, but it's just kind of nice to pull in. We can just pull in some data here. So let's just grab like a selection. Well, we're going to figure out because we're going to get some terrain data. So let's just grab like a bigger area, like something like that. Kind of give us a little bit of room. Okay, cool. 13 by 13. So let's go down to Let's go try to go down to 12. Okay. 12 by 12. So we'll copy this. We're going to go over to here, paste it, and we're going to import. So the first thing we're going to get is we're just getting like the actual building data. Again, this helps with perspective, scale, just generally laying out the scene. We're going to see how this ends up looking. Did it get it? Okay. Oh, so let's go a couple things first. Synapse. I got to do the opposite of what I did yesterday. Blender. This is going to be period. This is going to be 0. Oh, well, that's probably all I need for now. Okay, so view is probably 10,000. I don't know what's going on here. Got it. Oh, is it more than I realize? Let's do that again. Let's make the area a lot smaller. Actually, we can do is, let's just grab this to see. So I know what's going on with my weird. Should have more room than that. I swear there's something going on with my entire machine. Like, did that just not disappearing on me? It's 7,000 meters. Okay, that makes sense. This is 10,000. Okay, we're fine. This is pretty bad. This is pretty bad data. Okay, let's see what. Just gonna go get some 3D time. Yeah, so I mean, I'm just trying to kind of figure out what's available and how far I can get with that. Because these places are going to be unlikely to get like any kind of additional terrain data. So I've gotten stuff from like the Japanese Space Agency before. If you go to like USA and Canada, there's LiDAR data a lot of places. A little harder in other countries to sort of find stuff. Like you might find it, but it's unlikely. So we can do like Seed vault. So we can go like slow spot. So we got some Google data, which is, again, something's totally not right here. So this is not bad. This is interesting. This is like a pretty good satellite read. And that data came in. So we may be able to use this. Google data is not easy to work with, but I feel like we could probably do something. There's something wrong. Definitely something wrong with Blender. The way that that's bumping in and out. I might have to do like a fresh. Yeah, there's something very, very wrong. It just seems to be, if it's a Blender thing. What we'll do is we'll grab, well, let's just, again, we should have stupidly just checked this. Okay. Okay, something's at least better about that. Let's get the Google data and see how this looks. Okay, so it's yeah, this seems to be, I think this is working better. Yeah, that was very weird. Okay, so like we've got interesting, like we've got pretty good weather. We've got the building overlaid there. Basically in the right spot. Might be a little bit. Oh, it's a gap. Okay. So the building. Oh, it's not on the. Oh, okay. So yeah, it's just the building footprint. So it's accurate, but it's not. But yeah, there's the building. So yeah, what I think I might do is grab a large Google 3D tile of this area, and then I can start to work with that. Because what I can do is I got to figure out to bring that model out into Gaia and then start to work with it, and then we can start to set this up. So yeah, I think this is going to work. And I think this is the right thing to do. So what I'm going to do is it takes a while to download. So I'm going to get the Google data. In the meantime, we'll look for any other kind of terrain data we can get from this. And let's get like a large area of interest, and we'll start to download it. So, what we kind of what I look at when I'm doing this is I'm looking at, well, what do we want, right, for this scene? So we kind of want to take this angle. So we're going to want, the vault, and then we kind of want this mountain range as accurately as possible. And then, once you get into far distance, it gets a little difficult. But we also really don't need any building data. So we could probably go pretty low res with this. So we're going to go in here, and we're going to select. We're going to try this with a bigger, no, that's not what I wanted. This data here, coordinates. Cool. It's like I'm kind of thinking to take a large area. And put, make sure we get this shoreline, this shoreline. That's only 8 kilometers. So I think this is going to kind of work. We'll go 8. We'll go 8 by 8. Okay. I think something like this makes sense. The vault is here. Have a bit of room. Have a bit of the mountain ranges, and we'll shoot it kind of out towards this way. So let's copy this. Go into Blender. Paste. Let's start with the terrain data. Hopefully we don't run into that issue again. So this is how it should work. It is a little bit of 15,000, and we don't, maybe 1 meter. Okay, so this is the Google. This is the the general terrain data that's available here, which is very interesting because there is bad terrain data in north and south. So this is really useless, but Google has actually done something really cool. This won't really be something we're going to use. We can actually grab, because it's all based on this terrain now. So now we can go to, we can grab we can grab an image overlay first, because I have a bunch of these set up. So it's going to grab some tiles from Mapbox. So what I've done here, which, I didn't do on the stream, is that I've registered for a bunch of services: Mapbox, ArcGIS, Google Cloud Tiles, like a bunch of stuff. And, if you're a little technical, it's pretty easy to do. But, if you've never done that before, it's a bit of a pain. You got to go register. You got to get a key. You got to bring that key. Save that key out, put it into these tools. And you can follow a tutorial and do it. It's just a little extra work. But what we're doing is we're then going out to those servers to grab data based on that extent that you would have seen that I was showing before. Like you put in latitude and longitude, which is just the north and south. And it pinpoints the middle, and then what this tool is doing is it's basically deciding where the north and south and east-west extents are. And then once you do that, you can go get data. So you see what we just got is we got a nice satellite image of this area. So even though the terrain itself is a mess, right? We have, when you overlay the satellite, you've got a pretty nice little view, and you can even see the seed facility, I think no, sorry, we're on the wrong side. So the seed facility is over here, and I guess would probably be right there. So now if we kind of set our camera, you can kind of see, okay, even though there's this weird thing here, we'll fix that. There's a decent amount of data. Now, the Google stuff is going to look even better. So what I'm going to do is grab some Google 3D tiles. We'll grab some Google 3D tiles, and then I think if we'll go groups of buildings. I think that's probably going to be good. It's going to take a little time, but I think it'll be worth waiting for. Okay, so it's going out and it's getting tiles. Now, Google's data is based on satellite more. Okay, so they use like machine learning, algorithm stuff They're using satellite imagery because they've got a lot more of that, and they're using base terrain data, and they're replicating, or they're generating a higher quality terrain map than you can typically get. So so you look at Google Earth, it's not that much better, but there's just a little bit more detail as it loads. If you get into these mountain ranges and stuff, you're going to see a little bit more, there's a little bit more nuanced detail to to like the terrain here as that loads versus what was on that other one. So what we want to do, and I've tested this before, but I've never successfully done it. So this is going to be a bit of a test. What I actually want to do is I want to export, and maybe we won't have to do this, we'll see, but I want to do is to export like the actual height map that I can get derived from this data into Gaia, where I can then apply like some water simulations, make the terrain look a little better. And then I can come back in and I can actually like texture it, model it, and put the mountain kind of stuff in the background and kind of make this right. And then I think what we're going to have to do is we'll just model that building. While that loads, I guess I can go look and see what we can find. Maybe there is something out there. We want to get some blueprints, really. It would be ideal. I mean, it seems like a terrorist thing, right? Like building blueprint. There we go. That's helpful. Just copy that. That's kind of a helpful one. Oh, this is interesting. So this is like the actual architecture. Okay, that was a good one. That's cool. Just always like to see if anyone else has done it. The reason being, on a daily thing, there's just certain stuff like it's going to be difficult to model. So if I find an asset someone made, like, and I think this is generally, I love to see this be more of, kind of like the model that people follow. It kind of depends what you're doing, but for me, if I'm doing something like this where it's like I'm making something daily, if someone made a really good model of that vault, which is not this one, I don't think at all. Yes, this person, they kind of did something. Yeah, it's not going to be good. No, we're pass on that. Yeah, like this is a good example. Like if someone put real work into this and they actually modeled it pretty close to real, and the license allows me to buy it and use it for this, then I would buy it just because it's like, hey, let's reward the person that put the effort in. Why am I going to recreate the work? But then it all kind of depends for me too, whether or not I want to, what I want to use this for in the future. This is really nice, actually. I mean, as long as the license, Turbo Squid usually good. As long as the license works for this, I'll just buy that, and then that saves me a huge amount of work today. All the stuff, model description, vertical product ID, 3D model license. Let's go take a peek. may not use. Oh. Oh, I see. You can't, the promotional image is not what I want. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I mean, generally the rules are for most of this stuff is it comes down to, what your use is. Like if you're just reusing it as it stands, usually it's not necessarily makes sense. Then, if you can't resell them, so you can't make that model available. But in terms of incorporating it into something, it's usually okay. I just want to make sure I got. Well, it's $6. What I'll do is I'll do some license searching on this stuff after. Hey, Mr. Iose, is that right? Sorry, I didn't see your message until just now. How you doing, man? Hope you're well. What is Crypto 5? Crypto 5, I don't know. What is Crypto 5? Where are you seeing it? Let me know where you're seeing that so I can help you answer your question. God bless you as well. I am doing very well. Where are you from in the world? Still downloading. Thank you. I appreciate that you're going to subscribe. I have to set up something on here where it like pops up when people subscribe. I just don't have that running right now, which is really annoying because people have been subscribing, especially on YouTube. I've been getting a bunch of new subscribers, and I don't even notice it. Isn't that awful? So I'm trying to find a Chrome window here that's like disappeared, or a Firefox window. It's like I've moved it to. Oh, I just lost it. Damn. I'm just grabbing this model. Oh, Netherlands. Nice. Very cool. I've been to the Netherlands a couple times. I was in, where was I in the Netherlands? Shout out to my friend Brock, who played professional hockey there. And Tilsenburg. I spent a month kind of in Tilsenburg. I went all over the place, but Tilsenburg was where I was based. Do you know Tilsenburg? I assume you would. No? Is it Tilsenburg? I might be wrong. I don't know why I just came up with that. Netherlands. Tilburg. Tilburg is where I was. Okay. Let's check on this first of all. Okay, that's done. Okay, let me do one thing at a time here. So let's go get these. Let's go. I have to log into my. Password's not working for that. I'll probably reset it. Okay, updating. Cool. Okay, I think we'll grab a FBX and an OBJ file. Okay, so I've got the download for the file, and I've got some 3D terrain tiles here from Google. So let's go peek and see what we're looking at. So here's the original terrain that I've first downloaded, right? So let's get rid of that. And then this is the tiles. So you just see it's just a better quality overall. This is actually pretty nice. Yeah. Awesome. Cool. So, what you can do with this, which is kind of nice, is let's take a peek. So we don't need the water. I don't think we're going to need anything over here. It would have been nice to get kind of this little loop, but I think this is pretty good. So we're kind of doing this composition, right? So let's go grab, did we grab the OSM? Let's grab the whole OpenStreetMaps. Okay, let's grab. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so is one thing, the Google tiles never quite line up the same. So we can kind of take a peek at this. So what it's done, so it goes out, right, and gets this data, which is cool. So you can kind of see, we've got, there's the building data for that, and you can kind of line it up like there. And then we should have a building for that facility. So there it is, right? So we got the building for that facility, and it's kind of nice because it adds some buildings over here, and then we can replace these with like better models, but we'll basically have, the general layout of the train. And this is that other building we were looking at over here, which is kind of cool. So yeah, there we go. We got that in. And then what I'm going to do is I can take this and export it, and I'm going to try to bring it into Gaia and just see what I can do with it. I don't know how it's going to work, but we might as well try it. And I also have to get, that's not what I want. So actually, before we do that, we can do an easier thing, which is let's grab these files. So I'm just grabbing the files. I'm going to get a little folder structure going here, active projects. So O2 Doomsday Vault, call this one. And then, by the way, just it's maybe interesting to people. This is what this is how I set up all my projects. Is always the same way. So it's input. It's source. It's O2 working. It's O3 output. And it's O4 archive. So the idea being that, all of my source stuff, everything that's, unmodified, is going to go into source. And then all of my working files, which is like my Blender files, anything Photoshop, like Gaia, everything goes in working. And then output is obviously whatever I render out. So like in here, I can go 3D models, and I can just drop in those two that I downloaded. And then just to kind of show you guys before we go and do the Gaia stuff. So there's an OBJ file, and I can just go back into my thing, Doomsday Vault, and then source 3D models, and we can just grab this file. And then obviously the scale is all wrong, but this is where this building stuff really comes in useful, because if you go in now and take a peek at this and say, okay, this is cool. We actually don't want, so there's pretty low. It's interesting. We really don't want these at all. So if he's got them separated, I guess he doesn't. There we go. So we could just delete these faces. And now we've got this file. And what we can do is we can open up this one. We can select it. We'll just make sure we get the whole thing. Yeah. So let's grab this, and then we'll separate this thing. So now this is its own building, right? So we have the other buildings and then this building. So this is the, I'll just get the naming right here. This is the, what do they call this thing? Svalbard Global Seed Vault. Okay, so we'll just call this, we'll start calling it the Seed Vault. So this is the Seed Vault. And then what I can do is I can grab the selection to cursor. Okay, so the selection's now there. And then this is the seed bank. So now we can move the selection to cursor. I don't know why that didn't work. But I can't see my cursor. Cursor to selected. Is it just not? Do I not have something visible? What on earth is going on? Oh, that's what it is. Origin. So their origin needs to be there. And then oh, okay. Sorry. Origin. So the origin has to be on that. So now, sorry. Origin is now on that object because it was on the bigger object before, right? So now we're going to go cursor to selected. There we go. Now we go to the seed bank and we go selection to cursor. So now this is where it's kind of nice because we've got the exact, building location we see from the satellite, but we can sort of adjust this thing and figure out, how to bring it in some way that we feel, is kind of reflective of the actual spot, which is this is kind of the essence of what I really like to do because I'm not guessing, I'm confidently putting the building where it is in the actual scene. So I'd say I'm pretty happy with that. And then scale wise, I'd say it's probably pretty good as well. So then I can just hide this one. And now we've got the vault. And then while we're here, we can start to kind of get a feel for, like, I'm kind of thinking, I still think this is the scene, right? I think it's like right here. I would like to cut this out. This would be kind of my bonus if I could do it, right? So it would be this shot here, maybe like very wide. So we might as well just set that up. So align view. What am I doing? The cameras. No. Line. I can never remember. Actually, camera to view, right? That never works. And I always forget how to do it. Oh, there. Okay, so it's there. Okay, so the camera is always a stupid thing, but we got to change this to like 15,000. We'll scale this thing down. But yeah, so now what I want to do with the camera is I probably want to go like something really wide, like probably 16:24. And then I'm going to go view, camera to view, and I can start to kind of bring this camera. I thought I could. Because it's scale, right? Oh, we don't want to bring it down yet, but it's eventually you probably bring the scale down to like 10:1 or something. So, we can kind of an easy way to do this is just kind of picture where would the camera be in real life. Like if you're shooting this from a photography standpoint, where would you shoot it? Like here, something like that? No, you'd probably shoot it from this hill. Probably shoot it from there, right? So now you can go camera, selection to cursor, and now you've got your camera here. You go into the view, and now you can adjust it, right? So I'm picturing, like fairly close, wide angle lens. These buildings here in the background, that's the airports. That's kind of cool. And then we can do, you know, pick our angle, our rotation. And if we want to do, if we end up wanting to do that underground thing, we probably need to do, you know, give ourselves like a little bit of room to do it. I'm going to say something like that. That's probably what I would want to go with for composition. So now, simple, you know, we just have to, Mishan, hola, how you doing? ¿Cómo está? Yeah, this is it. This is basically the thing. So now what I would do is I would sort of give myself a little rendered view. So switch this over to cycles. So I'm going to give myself a rendered view over here. Rendered. Switch this to GPU. So now I have, you know, something, and we'll set some lighting up and all that here, and then we'll set this render region. So it's only going to render that. So now what we got is we can get rid of tools. We can get rid of this. We can get rid of these. And we'll just sort of have a nice clean. And what I'll do is to make things even nicer, I'll bring it up so everyone can see it. And then I can just zoom it in. So that's basically it. This is our scene we're going to make. Now, I've done this a bunch of times where I struggle was with how to get this down to like a good, like low amount of time. So that's going to be the trick. Obviously, we got to add sky in. We've got to decide with the mountains what we want to do. So we're going to probably retexture them. Maybe download some more background data. So like just some generic terrain data that we can bring in. We obviously have to texture this thing because it's not textured. It's just, which is actually great. It's just the actual outline, which is awesome because I'd rather texture it myself. You know, what I'm picturing is, it's unfortunate. The only thing that's kind of annoying about this is that we don't have the ability to show what's on here and what's up here. So, you know, I would say if I was to break this project down for today, because just knowing how, you know, yesterday was tough and it's sort of, you know, timing is like get one really good render that I'm happy with set up. And then, you know, we can experiment with maybe adding a bit more pizzazz to it, but also adding, maybe we can do a render. Like if I can get something tonight, we can have the camera, you know, come in and maybe make a sweep towards it so we can kind of see the top of this. It all comes down to, you know, if I could render it overnight and I feel confident, then we could go for it. So I'm going to, what did I say I was going to do right before this? I need to take a quick break. I want to get, this is done. Okay, let's just make a list for ourselves. Because I had a good list from the other one. Okay, so we got reference images. So reference images of the area. So I'm going to look for some mountain images just to kind of get a feel for the terrain. I kind of picture what it is. We can generate some base ideas. That's interesting. We'll do some of that in Midjourney. Just generate some concept art, just kind of around what we want. This ultimately, this is not just going to be like a realistic landscape. It's going to have like a crypto vibe to it. Maybe we can even do like a Northern Lights thing with like, yeah, that might be interesting. Okay, so import OSM data. That's done. We don't need the mountain range. So I'll bring this over. So this is just me making a checklist. Okay, so reference images done, area done, concept art. We don't need to do this. We got that. We don't need to do this. So we need to do this. Mask and color map. Oh yeah, this is the Gaia stuff. The winter environment's going to be a big one. Crypto moon. Create geometry. Node. Northern lights. I get some ideas how I want to do this, but it really just need to get a good winter scene. And I think that's really the main stuff. So I'm going to take a quick little break here. Got to get more coffee, get myself organized, and then I'll be back probably 15 minutes. And then, we'll be right into this one. All right. See you guys in a bit. right. We're back and we're standing up, which is definitely good. Oh, it's very bright in here. Still don't know what's going on with this camera. It's very annoying. Sorry, this is going to sound a little bit weird as I fix this. Okay. All right. Let's try to turn this a little bit. I don't know if I could get this over here. That's maybe a little better. A little bit down. Okay, good enough. We'll get all that stuff figured out after. Testing. Okay. So I'm just gonna get right into this. I'm hurting pretty bad. Let's admit it, as it was a long day to get that last one done. So we're gonna get there. But yeah, I'm gonna do a couple things here. I'm just thinking through how I want to do this. So. Okay. We're going to get some basics in. So I'm just going to do this for my own sanity, just to kind of have something that looks better than this. I'll show you a couple interesting things. And then I'm going to... so I'm going to add a sky and water just to kind of have a little bit. And then I'm going to bring this into Gaia and see what it looks like if I improve it. So the water is actually really easy to kind of start with. So all I'm going to do is just add a plane. Scale. Nice thing about terrain data is that, once you just set a water level, it does usually a pretty good job of filling the terrain pretty well. Technically should be here. We'll have to kind of see about sculpting a little bit to fix that up. Yeah. Oh. And then just for now, what we'll do is, suppose I want to see this on the screen. Yeah, so I'll just do new, principal BTF, black. Something like this for now. And then world, grab assets. Now I know what I want. I really know what I want here for sky. I really want like a blue. This might actually do the trick. So you can, we can always move it. Where was that? Blue hour. Probably don't need 8K. There you go. Done. Ship it. It's amazing, right? Like a little bit of sky. We don't need that high res, I don't think. Let's go to that 4K. So this setup is really nice because not only is this lighting the scene, but obviously it's acting as a background. And then, we can rotate this thing kind of anywhere we want. Right? So it's over here, you get the land. So we probably don't want. Right? So probably where it was pretty good. And you can kind of figure out what's a nice... I think either like this. I think this might be pretty good. And then we can rotate it. Minus, maybe minus, I think. It's -3. There we go. And then this is, we can mess with the water here at some point to get us some, ripples and all that. Sorry, Mishan. Man, I'm laughing because our Spanish conversation yesterday. I love that you told me hola means hello. Thank you. Gracias. Okay. So, I'm going to go, what do I want to do here? I'm just going to do a few more things, just this kind of standard stuff that I do for my landscapes. And then after I just get it basic set up, I'll start to go into Gaia. So here, I'm just going to set up some atmosphere. So all I'm really doing here is just creating a cube, a big cube. And then I'm going to make this a little smaller. Yeah. So, what I'm doing with this cube is I'll just make it so you can't see it, first of all. And then it's going to get a volume. It's kind of a standard Blender thing you can do. I thought about doing this in Unreal Engine. I'm really not, I really thought I was close, but I just don't have the energy to try to do it. And Unreal Engine I could probably do some really cool stuff in terms of animation. Maybe we do that. Maybe we go from this render to animation later. But the problem is there's too many variables with Unreal Engine, as I found out yesterday, that I'm just not I'm not overly comfortable to troubleshoot. I'm sort of looking at tutorials and reading the docs, and it takes a long time when you're on a budget, a timeline budget. It really becomes economy of time. You can't mess around. What just happened? 0.01. Point 0001. Oh, there we go. Yeah, this must just be a scale problem I'm dealing with right now. I don't want to mess the scale up because we're dealing with potentially pulling in other data. But that's interesting. We're going to do a winter scene. So at some point we'll have to establish whether we're going to do something like that where it's got kind of that fog, or whether we want to do a clear sky. I'm kind of I'm between some ideas, but we may go night mode on this as well. So I'm just going to kind of get something set up here that I'm okay with. There's definitely a scale problem here. That looks a little better, just because it kind of makes the background look a little bit more like there's an atmosphere. Just doing a little cheating with the water. It just pops up there. Okay. So what we got to do is let's go do the Gaia thing real quick. So let's just select this, export. I think OBJ. So I just got to get this licensed. Hold on. It's a nice way to do a license, the way that they do it. Okay. That's not what I want. Am I imagining that I could do this? Oh, it's like up here. Okay, so I've done this before and I'm kind of forgetting. Let's see, first person, zoom to object. Looks like the graphics card. I think I know what it is. I think I turned on a setting in OBS to use hardware acceleration. That was really dumb. You ever just like turn on a setting for no reason? Do you think it's a good idea? That's what I did. So I turned on hardware encoding. I'm so stupid. On OBS, which is a streaming software, which is what's causing issues with this, which means that I'd have to shut off the stream. Yeah, it'd be pretty annoying to have to shut the stream off. It's gonna be some pretty simple texturing. I'm just thinking, like, this is not horrible, but it needs a mask and like proper snow textures. And I'm just I don't know what I just did there. Okay, I'm taking a quick break and I'll be back. I guess it would help if I was off mute. I was just saying I need to take a little mental break, kind of just mentally drained from yesterday. So I'll take a quick break now, and then I'll relaunch the stream here in a couple hours, and then we'll get right back into what we're working on. So see you guys soon.